such as Redditor Love Crystals from Dallas, Texas, have been picking up strange things on their doorbell footage. It seems that these cameras are good for catching glimpses of more than just human intruders. The camera that recorded this footage seems to have been placed near the top of the user's garage. The footage shows a driveway and a parked car outside the user's house late one night. It isn't unusual for these cameras to pick up mysterious videos of passers-by or animals. However, this footage shows something else entirely. In the driveway near the car appear two small bipedal creatures. They wander around the driveway for several seconds. When they approach the car itself, we can see that they're about the same height as the tyres, most likely between 15 and 19 inches. The creatures are an odd shape with extremely small legs that cause them to walk with a waddling gait as they explore the user's driveway. They're entirely in shadow, making it impossible to discern any specific features. The viewers of the video on Reddit have suggested that the creatures could be something as normal as large birds, perhaps even owls. However, others are less sure. It's odd to see such large birds walking around on the ground for such a lengthy time. Others believe that the creatures are some sort of cryptid that resembles a gnome, or perhaps even garden gnomes that have come to life. Without additional footage or sightings, it's difficult to determine what these unusual creatures might be. Perhaps this Redditor's security camera will yield more mysterious videos. According to a post uploaded by Redditor datboy475, working in a fire station has dangers other than fires. In this footage, we see what many believe could only be ghostly activity. This video, which appears to be recorded on a smartphone camera, begins in chaos.
Everything's going on.
The camera holder is in the office area of the fire station, and everything around them is pandemonium. The lights on the phones and other electrical equipment are blinking on and off rapidly, as are the lights on the ceiling.
Everything's going off. Haywire.
The person holding the phone whips the camera around, attempting to take in the full scope of the chaos.
Look at a poltergeist or something.
At first, all of the crazy blinking lights seem as if they could be caused by some sort of electrical malfunction, even if the scope of the chaos is massive. However, there's another aspect of this footage that isn't as easy to explain away. As the person behind the camera records, a wooden door suddenly slams shut.
Poltergeist or some in here. Oh! No.
It's unlikely that a simple wooden door would be in any way connected to the building's electrical system, suggesting that something else is happening here.
Poltergeist or some in here. Oh! No.
Typically, ghosts that are able to interact with the physical world are considered poltergeists, a specific type of spirit with incredible strength. It's said that most poltergeists are only able to perform small feats, like moving an object or turning off a light. A spirit with the ability to cause this much turmoil in such a short period would have to be unusually powerful, making this footage one of the most frightening poltergeist encounters ever caught on camera.
No.
It's a bit unusual to see mysterious videos from USA Today, a highly reputable news source. So when this news outlet shared these strange and unexplainable videos, the internet paid attention. In a series of videos recorded in Texas in the United States, a group of amateur sky watchers who regularly watch and record aircraft flying over the area spotted something strange.
A group that might be called the Interceptor Club watches everything military that flies over. But back in March, they spotted 3 craft they'd never seen before.
About 6 miles above the ground flew 3 triangle-shaped aircraft that resembled nothing they had ever seen before. The triangular craft's front ends resembled stealth bombers. However, the back ends of the craft were straight, not jagged like a typical stealth bomber.
The back edge was flat, like a Dorito. It wasn't jagged.
A week later, another enthusiast spotted the same type of aircraft flying over Kansas, also in a formation of 3 planes. The witness in Kansas has a significant amount of professional grade equipment for monitoring aircraft. He claims that on that day in question, he heard air traffic controllers communicating with the craft, giving them clearance.
Douglas recorded air traffic controllers giving the aircraft a clear lane through the sky.
The United States Air Force would not confirm this claim, and no crafts resembling these mysterious planes have ever been seen up close. Could the aircrafts be extraterrestrial in origin? Their communication with air traffic controllers makes this scenario seem unlikely. Most witnesses are apt to believe that they're some type of secret transportation craft developed by the US government and kept under wraps. The true purpose of such aircraft remains a mystery. Live streams such as those created by YouTuber Conman167 can cover a number of topics. However, it's less common for live streams to feature mysterious videos of ghosts. In this live stream video, our YouTuber appears to be discussing women's professional wrestling.
And they leave a commercial, like, I'd be okay.
The screen is mostly covered with information about the fighters and a running commentary by viewers, but the streamer is visible in the upper left corner of the stream as he talks.
Seriously, like, they run their entrances.
Suddenly, he breaks off his commentary and looks behind him in confusion.
Did anybody else just see that?
He asks if any of the viewers saw a strange white line floating down by his face.
That was weird. I could have swore I saw like this white line run and just like fall down back here.
If you watch the video closely, there does appear to be something floating in the air on the left side of the screen. It only appears for a moment and then it's gone. Some viewers believe that it could be dust capturing the light or even smoke floating past the camera. However, others who have watched the video in slow motion insist that the motion of the white line doesn't look like anything natural. Is this a bit of dust or perhaps even a hoax created by the live streamer? Or is this a supernatural sighting? Watch the video closely and judge for yourself, then let us know what you think in the comments section below.
Not have a commercial break during the match. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
in another strange video recorded by a home security system, Redditor David Corkill provides possible evidence that humans are not the only ones who haunt the living after death. The camera that recorded this video seems to be mounted on the back of the user's house. We can see a large empty backyard and a small terrace. It appears to be early morning in the dim light of dawn. Everything is still and quiet. The stillness is interrupted when a cat emerges suddenly from the plants along the side of the terrace. The cat appears to be all white and it almost seems to glow in the dim light. It walks along the side of the terrace, then pauses for a few seconds. It stands eerily still, staring back at the house. Then it turns towards the opening in the terrace and trots off towards the yard. However, just as it crosses onto the grass, it seems to vanish. The Redditor who shared this video has no idea how to explain the ghostly feline. Often things seem to appear or disappear in CCTV footage because of a glitch in the video. However, the cat in this clip gradually fades away over the course of a few seconds, making it impossible to explain it away as a glitch. Sightings of ghostly pets are not uncommon. Over the years, many witnesses have told stories of spotting their beloved pets after death in photos and videos. It's possible that the cat that appears in this video is the spirit of a much-loved pet that lived in the area at one point, coming back to visit its old home or to check on its former family. However, cats have been known to cause mischief in life, so it's possible that the ghostly feline is up to no good. If YouTuber 2cents14 is to be believed, mysterious videos can be recorded thousands of feet above the ground. This video raises questions about what strange and unexplained things could be happening far above the clouds. The footage appears to be filmed on a smartphone camera recording through the window of a commercial airplane. According to the YouTuber, their friend's brother captured the footage when he spotted something truly unusual during a flight in 2019. The video shows what appears to be two long entities flying in the distance, visible just under the plane's wing. They almost resemble kites with long tails flying behind them. However, no kite could possibly reach the same altitude as a commercial plane. Viewers of this video have suggested several possible explanations. Some skeptics believe that the video merely shows two ordinary aircraft flying in formation in the distance, leaving exhaust trails behind them. However, others insist that the long trails are too dark to be caused by ordinary exhaust. They believe that the strange shapes were caused by alien aircrafts, investigating Earth possibly for nefarious purposes. Is this video evidence of an extraterrestrial presence in the skies above Earth? If so, what could be the purpose of such strangely shaped aircraft? Whatever the explanation, seeing such bizarre shadows outside of an airplane would be enough to make anyone consider staying on the ground. The story behind this photo is as sad as it is disturbing. The photo has been retold over the years as the tale of the ghost that screamed, and 30 years later, it's still causing a stir. The origin of this story dates back to a 1984 car accident involving 4 teenagers. The exact circumstances leading to the crash are unknown. However, some have blamed the winding roads. Regardless of the cause, the teens lost control of their vehicle that night. They hit a curb and crashed into nearby trees. As fate would have it, 3 of the 4 teens survived the crash. It proved fatal for the boy in the front passenger seat. At just 16 years old, the teen boy tragically lost his life. What followed was a routine police inspection complete with photos capturing the scene of the accident. Not having witnessed anything abnormal at the time, the police officer sent the photos off to be developed. However, what the police department found in those photos was distressing. The first signs of supernatural interference were floating red and yellow dots visible in many of the photos. However, they wouldn't go on to raise any red flags on their own. But one of the photos in question would haunt those who saw it for the rest of their lives. The photo seems to have captured the boy's spirit yelling in agony. There's a disturbed face visible and clear. Some even believe you can see the outline of a brown Labrador. Some say it's the very same dog that belonged to the boy recently deceased. Skeptics involved had to admit it seemed the photos captured 2 unique spirits. There's the boy himself in agony after the accident, and the boy's pet there to guide his soul. Posted to Reddit by user DIY Gardening, this picture can only be described as nightmare fuel. The photo was taken at Easter and was simply an attempt to capture a nice gathering of friends. As the title of the submission explains, the photo features one guest who was certainly not invited. We see the food laid out and a group of friends standing by, but there's one glaring addition to this photo that certainly doesn't belong. In the mirror, you can see the creepy and shadowed face of their uninvited guest. It looks to be a person with long hair wearing a white mask. Like many similar ghost photos, this one seems to reveal a being whose presence was not known until the parties involved were able to examine the photograph. However, once they did, it seems certain they were horrified by this creepy figure. All present insist they have no idea who the person might be. Let's hope this unwanted guest didn't stick around for too long after the photo was taken. Sent to the news outlet The Irish Mirror by Paula Whelan, this selfie of her daughter's friend appears to have gone horribly wrong. In this instance, the selfie seems to have strayed past fun and silly and gone straight to disturbing instead. While looking through the selfies in order to delete the less than perfect ones, the friend came upon something utterly horrifying. Positioned right behind the girl seems to be a ghostly figure. Enough to send shivers down anyone's spine and make them take a cursory glance behind themselves, there appears to be what looks like a man's face just above the doorframe. The longer you stare at this particular photo, the more eerie it feels. Some viewers claim it's nothing more than a Photoshop job, but the family insists they've not manipulated the image in any way. Posted by Reddit user Project Mindless, this photo seems to suggest that something eerie happened when this picture was taken. Taken at a family gathering, we see 6 people all smiling happily at the camera. However, if you look closely, it would seem a spirit has attempted to join them. With all the happy faces, it seems as though none of them had any idea this dark shadowy figure lingered behind them while capturing the photo. Directly behind the poster himself is a small dark figure, heavily shadowed. If you zoom in for a closer inspection, you get a better idea at what this shadow truly is. You can see a small, childlike figure directly behind the group. Reminded of the child from The Grudge, the poster and his family were seriously creeped out upon reviewing the photo. They say they have no idea who the boy could be or why he was there. With no other potential explanation for the face behind them, the group seems to believe that a ghost chose their family's gathering to visit that day. Uploaded to Reddit by user Ricky on Radio, this is yet another ghost photo set to creep you out. It reveals an invisible and horrifying presence in an otherwise peaceful home. The uploader explains that this photo was taken by their aunt. The photo of her son after he got out of the bath should have been a cute and precious memory. However, it quickly turned into something far more sinister. The uploader explains that the two were the only ones at home when the photo was taken. This makes the appearance of the person in the corner of the room all the more mysterious and eerie. In the photo, a strange figure is visible standing in the background. You can see a hand and white outfit of some kind. What's even more unsettling, the uploader posted a second photo, showing what the room normally looks like, unobscured. When you compare it to the first photo, it looks like it would be impossible for a person to be standing in the corner, not unless they were wedged tightly up against the toilet. The poster also clarified that there is or was no mirror in the room when the photo was taken. Some viewers have suggested the spirit to be that of a nurse or another figure wearing a lab coat. Others pointed out that the thumb on the figure seems to be unnaturally pointed. So what do you think's going on in this strange photo? Love to hear your thoughts on this one in the comments section below. Sent in by Slaptown viewer Tammy D, it came with a terrified plea to be taken for her word. Tammy notes that her granddaughter captured this photo as she was playing around with her phone's camera. As Tammy explains, no one aside from herself and her granddaughter were present in the room when the photo was taken. Showing a disturbing figure behind her granddaughter, Tammy asserts the figure was not visible when the photo was taken. This implies that the figure only happened to be accidentally captured by her granddaughter. As Tammy explains, the presence of the spirit in this photograph is easily the scariest thing that's ever happened to her. Those who have previously scrutinized the picture have questioned whether the figure was Tammy herself, but she assures viewers that this is not the case. In fact, Tammy has her own theory behind the origin of the spirit. Built on top of an old fort, Tammy's quite positive that many people had likely been buried beneath their home. Looking for peace or purely restless, a spirit seems to have wandered into their old home and into the photo captured by Tammy's granddaughter. With some relief, Tammy assures viewers that she has since moved from the allegedly haunted home. Sent to the news outlet The Irish Mirror by Gráinne Dowdall, it would seem an eerie figure has ruined what would be a perfectly fine mirror selfie. As with previous ghost photos, the spirit went completely unnoticed until the selfie was reviewed. As the girl strikes a pose in the mirror, another figure is seen striking a pose just outside her window. It looks to be a pale, expressionless face hanging just outside of the house. Creepily, the article confirms that the girl's bedroom was upstairs, meaning this couldn't have just been someone passing by. Instead, the latitude of the room and the spirit's odd appearance all seem to point towards a genuine haunting. Some viewers have suggested it could be an odd reflection or perhaps even a case of pareidolia, a tendency humans have to identify familiar patterns in the things we see, i.e. a face hanging in the window. Still, the image is chilling nonetheless, and until further information comes to hand, it will have to remain a mystery. Sent into the news outlet The Irish Mirror by Ciara O'Callaghan, this last photo is certainly an eerie one. Facebook's facial recognition software seems to point to the legitimacy of this sighting, throwing off even the most hardened skeptics. As the family were taking a series of nice family photos, O'Callaghan's niece grabbed the phone and had snapped a picture of the roof in her haste. When they looked at the photo, they could see an odd shape in the ceiling that resembled a face. When they uploaded the image to Facebook, it even gave them the option of tagging it as if it was someone they knew. With Ciara herself being a self-described skeptic, she admits she had submitted this photo to the public's discretion in order to potentially find some explanation other than the supernatural. For now, she admits she herself couldn't find any other potential cause, going so far as to manipulate the photo in Photoshop, playing with darkness and contrast, looking for any other reason the face should have appeared. However, altering the image only seemed to deepen the mystery. Strangely, the face in the ceiling bears a striking resemblance to the selfie we showed earlier in this episode. Are these shapes related somehow? Perhaps there's a filter that can imprint eerie faces into photos. Let me know if you've seen an app or filter that has similar looking effects. Love to hear about it in the comments section below. This eerie piece of security footage uploaded to Instagram by New Mexico Grown seems to show an eerie figure walking down their nature strip.
You can't see it turn the corner. Look at this, guys.
The uploader explains that at 3:09 AM they noticed the strange person walking down their street on their home security system. By the time they went outside to investigate, the figure had somehow travelled to the next block over, in what seemed like an unusually quick time frame. When they went inside to review the footage, they were stunned at what they saw. The white flowing figure seen walking down the road is distinctly non-corporeal.
You can't see it turn the corner.
At times, it appears to float directly through other objects, becoming more or less translucent. In the description of the video, the uploader urges viewers to focus on the license plate of the vehicle across the street. It remains in view even when the figure appears to walk in front of it.
Look at this, guys.
Viewers often chalk these kinds of events up to the poor quality of home security systems. However, this piece of footage is undeniably creepy and does make you question just what's being captured on camera. Posted to Reddit by user Katie1113, this clip is certainly unnerving. The poster explains that the video in question features a voice text from her friend. Her friend had just undertaken a 10-hour car ride solo at the time. She sent the poster a voice text when she had reached a standstill. Having just witnessed a car accident, the friend clearly needed to work out what she had just seen. However, the contents of the voice recording would unveil more than the friend originally intended. During the call, there are two distinct moments when another person can be heard breathing. As the friend explains the accident and what she saw, you can hear a deep, breathy sound.
Trailer would have been carrying or something, like a, I don't know,
It happens a second time later in the clip.
you know, if there were like any other people in it.
Again, the friend was alone in the car with her windows up. She was also insisted that the files haven't been edited in any way. So where did this strange sound come from?
Something like a, I don't know, like a, like,
Some commenters were quick to connect the accident with the eerie breathing. They concluded that perhaps someone died in the crash and the soundbite somehow captured the breathing of the person as they passed over.
I don't know, like a, like,
In fact, some headphone users even reported hearing a childlike giggle before the second string of breaths.
crashed in the front. But I didn't see any ambulances or anything, so I think they're probably fine. I don't even know if there were like any other people in it.
This is enough to send chills running down anyone's spine. Love to get your thoughts on this eerie clip in the comments section below. Posted by Reddit user Chloe Chan, this video appears to show something inexplicable. The video is focused on a normal living room setup. Pointed toward the sofa, a cat is seen lounging cheerily. However, it's not this cat we're worried about. Keep an eye on the sofa to the left. As the lights turn on and the camera switches out of night vision, you can see what looks like a black cat materializing on the couch. The uploader then comes into the room, looks around and leaves. Scarier still, the uploader claims they used to have a black cat named Blackjack, who passed away almost exactly a year prior. Surely the uploader would have noticed a black cat sitting on their sofa when they looked in the room. But there, caught on camera, a black cat does indeed appear to materialize out of nowhere. Could this really be Blackjack trying to reconnect with their former owner? Love to get your thoughts on this one in the comments section below. Like many classic ghost videos, this security camera footage is short yet telling. Seemingly captured in a residence in the middle of the night, this footage shows a ghostly figure walking on the left side of the screen. The shape in question appears to be mostly translucent. Nearly invisible to the naked eye, the figure can only be slightly differentiated from the dark background. Slightly flowing and translucent, whatever it is resembles the classic representation of ghosts. Unfortunately, there's little information to go with this strange piece of footage. Like many ghost clips on the internet, it's all too brief and doesn't fully explain where or when it was taken. So until further info comes to hand, this mysterious clip will have to remain uncertain. Posted to the YouTube channel The Hidden Underbelly 2.0, this next video is certainly chilling. The video very clearly shows a ghostly woman dressed in white with long black hair walking through an empty mall at nighttime. The shopping mall in question is none other than Galerías La Paz, a Mexican shopping mall known for its association with the occult. According to the video's description, the mall is rumoured to be linked to odd occurrences and has a history of human and animal sacrifices. The woman in question appears on the security footage clear as day. In fact, she almost seems to walk right through the security officer doing his rounds. He just continues walking forward right as the ghostly woman seems to vanish. Apparently unfazed, the security officer continues walking, finishing his checks, and reports back to the security room. It's alleged that his partner asked if he saw the strange woman while doing his rounds. He said no, he didn't see anyone while walking through the mall. Puzzled and unsure what his partner was talking about, the two replayed the CCTV footage. Startled, the security officer was confronted by the clear video of this ghostly woman in white walking towards him, a woman he had no real-life memory of seeing. Thoroughly creepy, this footage will surely haunt those security guards for the rest of their days. Before we take a look at an eerie shadow figure caught on camera, remember to hit that subscribe button, then tickle that little bell icon there and turn on all channel notifications. That way you'll be notified every time we upload our scary and mysterious videos. Also, if you're enjoying our content, remember to give that thumbs up button a nice oily massage. Uploaded by YouTube user Leo Lins, this video features the popular Brazilian comedian, writer and actor and his Brazilian model partner Aline Mineiro. Due to his popularity, it's no surprise this video's already seen over 500,000 views and counting. While responding to social media comments, the two are seen sitting alone in a room with the camera focused solely on them. They continue chatting and responding to fans. That's when something eerie appears to happen in the background. The first occurrence, roughly around 1735, seems to show a strange shadow moving in the background. It moves quickly from left to right. If you slow the footage down, there is indeed something moving behind the famous pair. While the two are speaking in real time, it's clear the footage hasn't been sped up or altered in any way. In fact, because the two don't notice and therefore don't draw any attention to the shadow, it helps to solidify the idea that the footage hasn't been altered in any way. It's not until later in the video, around the 21:56 mark, that the shadow is seen again. This time the appearance is less obvious, but if you keep an eye on the TV on the right, you can see it once again. At first, it looks like something simply moving on the TV. But the more you watch it, the more it becomes apparent that it's not connected to the visuals being played on the television. Because Lins and Mineiro don't play up the event or even seem to notice, and the fact that they're talking about something else entirely does lend a bit of credibility to this sighting. But as always, I'll throw it out to you, the audience. What do you think, real or fake? Love to hear your opinions on this one in the comments section below. According to Tom O'Flynn, ghost sightings are a regular occurrence at his workplace. This might lead you to think that Tom works in an old building with lots of stories. Actually, he's the owner of Tolleson Service Station, an ordinary store and gas station in Cork. One morning, Tom came into the store and found a package of snacks on the ground. He didn't think much of it until he saw that a fruit bowl had also been overturned and knocked to the ground. This prompted him to check the CCTV cameras. These showed footage of items being pushed over and flung around the store late at night after closing. The footage found its way to the internet, where amateur ghost hunters have been trying to come up with theories about the strange happenings. If you slow the footage down, you can indeed see that the object falls to the ground by itself. As it's after hours, it's clear that there's no one around to cause such a strange event. So what did move this object? About a week later, different cameras showed a possible explanation. While the clip is dark and grainy, some viewers believe it shows a shadowy figure. The footage does distort in a strange way, pulsing in and out. But it's hardly conclusive. Seeing the events from this new angle, viewers are convinced that a dark, shadowy woman caused the strange events. Tom isn't quite sure about the ghostly woman supposedly showing up in the video. However, he notes that his store is positioned between two funeral homes. Anything's possible, including a recently deceased spirit looking for a midnight snack. This historical photo from Getty appears normal at first glance. However, a viewer with personal ties to one of the figures in the photo noticed something that led to one of the creepiest ghost sightings in Ireland. The photo in question was taken over 100 years ago. It shows several young women who worked in a linen factory. They're posed with their arms crossed, wearing the traditional garments that such factory workers regularly donned a century ago. The photo was published to an Irish website as part of a gallery of old photos. A woman named Linda commented on the photo, stating that one of the girls was her grandmother, Ellen Donnelly. Her father has the same photo in his home, and the family's been speculating about it for years. So, what has the family so interested in this photo? If you look closely at Linda's grandmother on the far right in the second row down, on the girl's shoulder just in front of her, you might notice something odd: an unexplained hand gripping at her right shoulder. There's no one on her left who the hand could belong to, and all of the other girls have their arms tightly crossed. The fingers on the hand seem to be digging into the woman's shoulder, so she certainly would have noticed if it had have been a human hand. Some believe the hand is a trick of the light or something amiss in the way the woman's dress is lying. However, others are convinced that this is evidence of a century-old ghost. An Irish mum named Jerry Moran decided to enjoy a sunny day by taking her two children for a walk near an old out-of-service train track in Derry. During the walk, she snapped a cute photo of her daughter waving to the camera, while her other child heads into a darker wooded area. No one noticed anything amiss, and the family had a nice time on their hike. However, when they returned home and Jerry looked at the photo, she was shocked by something eerie. Just beyond her son, you can see what appears at first to be a grey blur. On closer inspection, the blur takes the form of a man walking past the tree. He appears to be wearing the uniform of a soldier and looks straight into the camera at the moment the picture was taken. According to a local historian, the area where the photo was taken was full of British soldiers during World War I because of its proximity to the country's border. In fact, a famous soldier and poet, Francis Ledwidge, frequented the area during the war, writing many poems about its beauty. He was an officer, so perhaps he returned after death to the place he loved during life. Regardless of who the soldier was, this Irish mum might hesitate before taking her children for more walks along the abandoned railway. Laura Clark of Belfast is no stranger to bizarre ghost sightings. Ever since her father Terry passed away shortly before the birth of her youngest son, strange things have been happening in her mother's house. The family regularly spots strange shadows and inexplicable reflections in the house. In addition, numerous children who live in or visit the house regularly talk about a man in the attic that no one seems to be able to explain. To make matters even more frightening, Laura's sister used to talk about the same man in the attic when she was young, but has never mentioned it to the children. Recently, Laura's mum hosted a Day of the Dead party so the family could gather to remember their lost loved ones, including Terry. They took numerous photos while the family was gathered to commemorate the event. The party went on without a hitch. However, when they reviewed the photos later, they noticed something eerie. In one photo, Laura is holding her young son. The photo caught her eye because there's an eerie third arm in the shot, and her son seems to have 3 legs. All of the limbs are clearly in focus, much to the chagrin of naysayers who believe that the bizarre effect was captured because Laura and her son moved when the photo was taken. Plus, Laura states that her son was talking about his grandfather when they took the photo. Could this photo be evidence that Terry was in fact with them on this day, the Day of the Dead? While home alone in her Cork residence, Ashie Murphy was terrified to be at the centre of numerous eerie events. However, not all of the tens of thousands of viewers who have watched this video believe her claims. The video was taken in Ashie's kitchen. Things start to go awry when a lampshade suddenly begins to shake and spin in a bizarre fashion. There's no one anywhere near the lamp when it happens. Then the doors on the room's cupboards begin opening and closing seemingly on their own. Ashley insists they were home alone when the strange events unfolded. Some who have seen the video believe that the entire thing was orchestrated using clear string manipulated by someone just out of sight. However, others are convinced that it is the work of a playful poltergeist. So what do you think? Hoax or genuine haunting? Love to hear your opinions on this strange piece of footage in the comments section below. When Bethany Harvey opened her Snapchat app to take a cute photo of herself with her nephew, she was rudely interrupted by her sister, who decided to pop into the photo as well. Without thinking much of it, Bethany posted the photo and captioned it, "Photobombed." Little did she know that she had also been photobombed by someone other than her sister. It wasn't until later in the day that Bethany noticed something amiss. A friend came to visit her and pointed out something truly bizarre in the photo, what appears to be a girl or woman in a purple dress. The figure seems to be sitting in a chair behind the girls with her hands folded neatly in her lap. Because of the positioning of the people in the photo, we're unable to see the figure's face. However, the rest of its body is crystal clear. Bethany was shocked when she noticed the woman in the purple dress. According to her, there was no one else in the house besides her, her sister, and her nephew. The figure appears so close to them that there's no way someone could have snuck in without them noticing. The family has no idea who the woman could be, but her appearance certainly has them spooked. When Paranormal Investigators Island visited the supposedly haunted Sharon Rectory house in Donegal, they were hoping for some creepy ghost sightings. They were not disappointed. The building has seen numerous paranormal events in the past. Visitors and locals claim to see various ghosts walking the halls throughout the day and night. A woman who once lived in the house with her family published a book detailing the terror of living there, with stories of numerous physical attacks by what she thought to be demons. According to a history of the place, it was the site of a gruesome double murder that could be the cause of the terrifying supernatural events. When the paranormal investigators began their evening, they set up a camera at the base of a staircase. They placed a ball at the top, hoping to capture ghostly activity. The ghosts obliged. In the eerie footage, we can see the ball suddenly being pushed down the stairs. However, when you slow it down, there's clearly no one near it. According to the investigators, this staircase was the site of several other strange events that night. One person who attended the investigation collapsed on the stairs. Another claimed she felt someone trying to push her down them. In this famously haunted location, there's no telling what could happen. If these investigators are correct, there's certainly something sinister happening at the Sharon Rectory house. Posted to TikTok by user MaryLiz9, this video will have viewers watching over and over again. In the video, the uploader seems to be doing just what teenagers like to do most on TikTok. They're filming themselves doing a dance for the camera. The uploader says in the video's description that this clip was in her drafts and was appealing for viewers to explain the strange man that can be seen behind her. As it's a rehearsal that was never meant to see the light of day, we see the uploader walk through a few dance moves, making her way towards the camera. As she moves to her left, an elderly man can be seen walking towards the camera. The girl ends the video moments later, blissfully unaware of the man behind her, who is now out of sight. If you slow the footage down, you can actually see that the figure is walking backwards toward the camera. This would be incredibly hard to pull off if it is indeed a hoax. The erratic movements of the girl would make it difficult to hide someone the entire shot. Since going live, the video has racked up 11 million views, with thousands of comments speculating on who the old man might be. Theories range from a ghost, to a stalker, to a friend who helped stage the video. Mary Liz 9 has since posted a video update in which she insists the video isn't staged, and that she doesn't know who the person was.
The video wasn't staged. I really don't know who the guy in the back was. I wasn't alone in the parking garage. I was with my sister. It was just kind of a strange experience.
She does, however, think that the man might have managed to walk away when she went to pick up her phone after the dance had ended, and just didn't notice a person behind her. So what do you think? Ghost, coincidence, or something else entirely? Love to get your thoughts on this one in the comments section below. Uploaded to YouTube by user Transistus Fluvis, this video claims to feature real footage of a small ghost boy captured by CCTV. The channel is known for posting scary videos of ghosts. It claims each video features real instances of paranormal activity. The footage comes from a camera stationed in the upper corner of a convenience store. It's been positioned to keep an eye on both the counter as well as the front door. At around 30 seconds into the clip, you can see a small child appear out of thin air. It looks as though they materialize out of nowhere, rather than simply walking up to the window. A man is seen behind the counter working and attending to menial tasks. He doesn't respond to the figure clearly present outside the door. The young child raises an arm, and it looks to be eerily long. Although admittedly, this could be the two windows creating a warped perspective. The figure steps to the side and looks through the other part of the window. It's at this point that the young child seems to shift in and out of focus, almost as if switching in and out of a solid form. The worker's ignorance of the boy's presence is another telling factor, which raises a few questions. Was the boy truly a ghost, so incorporeal as to be easily ignored if one were not looking right at him? Or was he perhaps the type of spirit that can be captured on camera but not seen in real life? Or, further still, perhaps the child is just some riffraff that the store clerk is choosing to ignore. Either way, the man pays the boy no mind. The boy remains staring longingly inside, all the while appearing to wish to come in as he waits alone, leaving viewers to wonder at the strange boy's fate. Sure to stump, frighten, and even amuse is this next video posted to Reddit by user KittyK38. The uploader explains that after she and her husband were concerned by a cupboard that seemed to open by itself the previous night, they set up a camera to record the kitchen the following night. That very evening, the uploader's husband is seen grabbing some cereal as a midnight snack. After pouring the cereal, the man puts the box down on the counter and retrieves milk from the refrigerator. As he does so, the cereal box is seen sliding down the counter by itself. Although the man doesn't see the box slide, he does notice that it's moved when he turns around. Only a bit confused, the man moves the box back to where it had been. As he pours some milk into his bowl, the box moves once again. The man looks slightly more concerned but finishes pouring the milk. He moves to replace it in the refrigerator once again. As his back is turned, the box begins to slide down the counter once more. Clearly spooked, the man does something very few people are seen to actually do in genuinely scary videos of ghosts. He jumps and moves away from the box comically fast. He runs out of the kitchen, The man's reaction is most likely the real deal, as he runs away from the serial poltergeist haunting his kitchen. A spirit trapped in a mirror located in a haunted Irish castle seems to be the plot of a horror movie. Yet lead paranormal investigator Siobhan Macaulay seems to have captured proof. The ghost is known as the Man in the Mirror. There were two separate stories in the news outlet The Irish Mirror. The original piece was by Mark Corcoran, followed by a second piece by William Dunn a month later. They both feature the video and photos captured by the six-person paranormal investigations team during a public lockdown of one of Ireland's most haunted castles, Leap Castle in County Offaly. In the footage, you can see the lead investigator pointing out to her fellow partner that the man visible in the mirror seems to be wearing a straw hat.
There you go. Is he wearing a hat? Yes. No. Yes, he's wearing a hat. Fuck off. Yes, yeah. He's wearing a straw hat. Look. There he is.
The two seem to be able to make out separate and distinct features in the mirror.
Yeah, there you can see his nose and the hat, around the rim of the hat and everything. Yes.
Like many scary videos of ghosts, this video has come into its own fair bit of contention. Another group of paranormal investigators seem to deny any claim of a ghost's presence in the mirror. They claim the mirror simply needs to be cleaned. While at some points in the video you can actually see something that resembles a man wearing a hat, it's a little odd that the man only moves when the investigator moves her torch.
Hey.
She even admits in the video that the entity moves opposite to her actions.
I'm going to step forward. Are you going to do the opposite again? Look, I knew he would.
With two directly opposing investigative results, viewers are left to decide for themselves just what they've seen in the mirror.
Hey, there you can see his nose and the hat, around the rim of the hat and everything. Yes.
Uploaded by YouTube user CH3 Thailand, this next clip captures something frightening on dashcam. The footage was captured in the middle of the night. As the car drives down an empty highway, a figure seems to materialize out of nowhere. Continuing on, the car seems to pass right through the mysterious figure. This video gained a fair bit of media attention in Thailand where it was captured. After being shared on social media, the video was picked up by a Thai English language news outlet. Strange videos like these reach peak levels of speculation when they broach the mainstream, and this one is no different. The clip has drawn a fair amount of skepticism, with some viewers asserting that the figure was simply the result of a reflection on the window. However, discerning viewers find it unlikely that a window reflection could so accurately show a person standing up straight and unmoving in the middle of the road in such a way. If it was just a person wandering aimlessly on the highway, perhaps drunk, how is it that they managed to pass right through the driving vehicle and disappear without a trace? It's no coincidence that St. Augustine, the oldest city in the US, is also frequently referred to as the most haunted city in the US. Posted to the YouTube channel Paranormal Planet, this video takes us on a tour of some of St. Augustine's oldest sites, all of which are reported to be haunted.
The old Spanish fortress still haunted by slaughtered soldiers.
The oldest house in America stands in an area known for a vicious slaughter by the Spanish Armada.
This right here, the oldest house.
In an old room just adjacent to the oldest house in America, the uploader claims the Spanish Armada slaughtered up to 50 people.
When the Spanish Armadas invaded the city, they slaughtered 50 people in this room.
It's here that they set up a time-lapse shot to see if they can capture anything unusual on film. Shortly into the time-lapse shot, a shadowy figure is seen walking between rooms. It glides eerily from door to door. Given the area's history, it's clear why ghosts would remain tied to this place. Being one of the oldest continually lived-in cities in the United States and being the site of many historical battles, there is more to these buildings than meets the eye in the light of day. Almost like a movie, it would appear these shadows tend to walk across the buildings of their old stomping grounds, seemingly restless and haunting such areas of strife for all eternity. This crazy dashcam footage captured by Karina Dimitrieva and submitted to the Daily Mail seems to confirm decades worth of hauntings. Filmed in Western Russia, the footage captured by Dimitrieva seems to show a woman in a white gown standing in the snow. As someone passes the camera, the woman in the background vanishes from view. Local folklore says that in 1989, a newlywed couple were heading to a local park to celebrate with friends. Their car allegedly smashed head-on with a truck, killing the bride instantly. The spot where that horrific accident happened decades ago is said to be just meters from where this striking footage was captured. Since that day, over 30 years ago, locals have attested to multiple accidents in the region, located between the towns of Lyubertsy and Litkarino in western Russia's Moscow Oblast region. All of these occurred on the same stretch of road where the bride was killed all those years ago. Known as a black spot, it's said that the same area has seen 10 fatal accidents in recent years. The spot has also been known for producing sudden blinding fog and other bizarre phenomena. This has caused even more drivers to lose control of their vehicles. The spot has been so riddled with accidents and ghost sightings that one Russian paranormal investigator, Ilya Sagliani, confessed to studying the location for over 8 years. Sagliani even claims to have seen the bride ghost himself. The footage captured by Dimitrieva appears to corroborate the story of Sagliani and so many others. Dimitrieva claims to have seen the woman's shape before pulling over to investigate. She got out of her car in order to look at the woman. The video clearly shows a ghostly woman who seems to disappear right after Dimitrieva walks past the camera, further solidifying the ghost's reputation. Captured by a man from Maine named Chet Cook and sent to The Sun, this video has effectively stumped paranormal investigators. Cook appears to be driving along a perfectly average stretch of road. However, the footage quickly shows a mysterious black shape scurrying across the street just in front of Cook's car. Not appearing to be corporeal in any way, the substance in Cook's video appears more like a shadow than a person. Cook said he felt a nagging feeling to review the dashcam footage when he got home. While Cook explains he reviewed the footage expecting to see a deer run across the road, he instead saw the strange black shape. Working in IT, Cook had a fairly good idea that it wasn't a camera malfunction that had led to this figure. He was fairly positive he hadn't actually seen anything in front of his car that night. So spooked, Cook sent the footage off to a paranormal team in order to conduct their own investigation. Instead, the crazy dashcam footage stumped the investigative team. They noted an animal wouldn't have appeared so transparent. As for Cook, he explained to the Sun news outlet that those who live in Maine are generally used to creepy sightings, and that there's a reason a lot of Stephen King's stories are based there. So what do you think this strange black mass is? Deer or something more sinister? Love to get your opinion on this one in the comments section below. Uploaded to the YouTube channel Hidden Underbelly 2.0, this piece of dashcam footage is bizarre to say the least. The footage shows a red taxi making its way along a winding road. However, things change suddenly and dangerously when a white blur appears out of nowhere. The strange light, which some have called a ghost, seems to slam right into the vehicle ahead. The vehicle immediately swerves off the road, crashing into a tree. The driver of the vehicle with the dash cam swears, clearly just as surprised as the rest of us by the strange incident. it appears the ghostly figure quite literally knocked into the vehicle in question, causing the accident. Some viewers have called the event a coincidence. Some say it's just the headlights of the car hitting a patch of mist, then the taxi swerved for a completely separate reason. Others, however, find this explanation hard to buy, saying that the strange spectral light flies out of nowhere and is in fact the cause of the accident. Covered by news outlet The Irish Mirror, this next piece of crazy dashcam footage shows yet another chilling brush with death. What could have been a fatal accident is barely avoided, but it's been captured on camera for the world to see. In the footage, a couple drives down a dark road. They come face to face with a mysterious figure standing in the middle of the street. What looks to be a female dressed in a white top and blue skirt, the couple is faced with the dangerous possibility of a collision. Panicked, the couple yells to one another. They swerve out of the way, a dangerous maneuver which could have caused an entirely separate accident. Confronted with the image of a ghostly woman standing in the middle of the road at night, arms outstretched, the couple may have slowly reached a supernatural conclusion themselves. Is this a genuine ghost sighting, or just a confused pedestrian who narrowly missed being hit? Uploaded by YouTube user Molly the Lag, this footage is the sort of eerie occurrence dashcams are perfect for capturing. As two men are driving down the street, one of them suddenly exclaims just how creeped out they are at something they've just seen.
What was that? What? What?
The viewer is able to make out a bright light far in front of the vehicle. Suddenly, the light seems to completely disappear as the vehicle gets a bit closer. The passenger explains that he had seen a man on what was either a bicycle or a motorbike flashing a blinding light in their direction.
No, I literally just saw somebody on a bicycle or a motorcycle with a headlight on, and then as we came close, it just disappeared.
However, as the light seems to disappear, so too does the figure entirely. Describing the figure's appearance as almost that of a hologram, the passenger is very obviously spooked by what he's just witnessed. The driver has no idea what they were seeing. Instead, the passenger recounts just what he had witnessed, thankful that they had the dashcam footage to go back and review after the fact. Some viewers have said the footage is simply a trick of perspective. They claim the light is just a street lamp up ahead that appears to disappear as the road curves in the distance. However, later in the footage, the uploader shows a map of where the incident took place. It seems to show that the road isn't as windy as it appears in the footage. It also shows there's no roads that a vehicle could have turned off on.
Picking up a tire, and right on the left over here, back there.
Upon review, the street lights also seem to flicker just after the light vanishes.
Creepy. But it literally just disappeared. It just like, it was there and then just stopped.
So what do you think these two men witnessed? A strange trick of perspective, or something else entirely? Love to hear your thoughts on this one in the comments section below.
What?
Posted to the YouTube channel Dashcam Owners Indonesia, this piece of crazy dashcam footage perfectly illustrates the sort of classic ghostly appearances one might miss without a dashcam. In this blink and you'll miss a ghostly appearance, an unsettling figure appears to be standing directly in the middle of the road. While not visible for a good stretch of the road, the figure appears suddenly. Eerily, the man appears to face away from traffic and doesn't move at all. While the traffic up ahead has to quickly swerve in order to avoid the man, he does nothing. The fact that the vehicles up ahead have to swerve means the man was physically there. It also makes it less likely that the footage has been digitally manipulated in some way. When a story like this seems far-fetched to anyone who wasn't there, dashcam evidence becomes extremely vital for proving one's case, and potentially proving to oneself they hadn't simply imagined the figure after the fact. While the man was clearly physically present and appeared unmoving, his exact motives remain unknown. If he was a spirit, one would have to wonder just what sort of evil motivation would lie behind such a reckless haunting. And if it was a living person, why would they just wade into oncoming traffic like that? Most people who get arrested fear being alone in a jail cell. According to this footage from Paranormal Activity World, there might be something very different to fear. In this video, we see a man behind bars in a maximum security cell. He's standing alone in solitary confinement looking through the bars. When the man in the cell takes a small step to the side, things get really bizarre. When the prisoner steps to the side, he no longer seems to be alone in his cell. With his body out of the way, we see a bizarre shadow figure lurking just behind him. The shape is terrifying. It almost appears to be part human, part arachnid. It has a human head, but seems to move on a set of spindly legs, staying down near the floor. The shadow quickly disappears, stepping back behind the man after he moves. Clearly, this entity has some attachment to this unfortunate prisoner, using him to hide from other prying eyes. Imagine being trapped behind bars all alone when you realize there may be a shadow person sharing the cell with you. YouTuber Hablemos de Misterio uploaded this strange encounter at a funeral home. It was allegedly captured by a security guard doing his rounds late at night. In this footage, we see what appears to be the lobby of a large funeral home. The video is taken from a distance, but appears to focus on the entrance, where visitors come into the funeral home. At the far end, there's rows of metal poles used to direct large crowds. As the guard's camera rolls, we can see a metallic glint coming from the other side of the lobby. On closer inspection, we see the silver metal bar of one of the poles moving on its own. It rocks back and forth. It's quite clear there's nothing around that could be moving the pole. This footage was taken in a funeral home, so some sort of ghostly entity is an obvious culprit. Perhaps the spirit of someone whose funeral was held in this building lingered long after the services ended. The powerful movement of the pole indicates that the spirit's a poltergeist, and a strong one at that. This could suggest the spirit has left this world in significant turmoil or suffering, causing it to linger long after death. YouTube channel The Haunted Side Paranormal Investigations is no stranger to scary videos. They frequently share footage of eerie things that investigators spot in their visits to abandoned and haunted places. This video, however, is enough to leave even the most seasoned paranormal aficionados feeling rattled. This investigation takes place at the Cleanwater Demon House in Reno, Nevada, USA. According to the stories surrounding this property, more than a dozen people have met tragic ends in the house. There have been numerous reports of paranormal activity taking place there. The investigators visit the property in hopes of finding evidence of demonic activity.
So let's grab the SLS camera, let's grab the Ovilus, and let's head in there and just kind of do a walk around and see what's going on.
The investigators use numerous pieces of equipment, including a night vision camera and spirit box. Spirit boxes operate by scanning through radio waves in supposedly haunted places, allowing any entities in the area to make their voices heard using the waves. As the investigators explore the house, the spirit box quickly begins talking.
Ambition.
Oh, God.
Jesus. Applet. Children.
Applet and children?
Shove.
It says a lot of random words, but one quickly stands out. Nail. As the box speaks this word, the investigator looks down and realizes he was inches away from piercing his foot with several large nails.
Nail. Watch.
Oh my god. Look what I almost stepped on.
Chief.
And it said nail watch. And there's all these nails right here. And I stopped because I didn't want to step on it. And it said
Disregard.
nail. Disregard. Threshold. What? That's crazy.
As they keep exploring and the spirit box continues chattering, the investigators locate bones on the floor. Just as they spot the bones, the box states break.
See these bones?
Break. Please. OI.
Break, please. You said, look at these bones. And then it goes, break, please.
Moments later, one of the men claims to have seen a figure pass the door.
It's got like a weird, very weird layout. What the was that?
What?
Something just went by the door.
Fiction. Swim.
Something just went by this.
They then discover strange symbols written on the walls. They ask the spirit what the symbols mean, and it says anti-prey.
What does that mean? Oh, I'm getting bad.
Anti-prey.
Anti-prey?
The camera begins detecting movement in various places around the room.
Leather.
It's like doing that. Look. Oh, there. Oh, that was somebody.
Yeah, I saw
It was
that.
right there too, like just on the edge of the stair. There they are.
Right.
The investigators decide to explore the second floor. They hear strange, disturbing sounds that resemble footsteps as they continue their exploration.
Star.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that?
No.
Yeah. What the was that?
What?
I saw another shadow dart that way. I heard a footstep kind of at the top of the stairs right there. Who's in here with us?
A curious shadow figure appears to be following them around the building. At one point, as the crew are walking back into the house, an ominous black shape can be seen standing in the window.
What was that?
What?
I don't think that was a shadow.
However, upon reviewing the footage, seconds later, the shape is gone.
I don't think that was a shadow, but it was on the other side of that window.
A second camera that was simultaneously filming the inside of the house shows that there was no one inside the building when the shadow figure was seen in the window.
I don't think that was a shadow, but it was on the other side of that window.
If you slow the footage down, there is indeed a tall, dark shadow in the window.
That I'd captured probably one of the best shadow figures I've ever seen.
The appearance of the shadow figure is followed by disturbing growling noises, footsteps, and knocks on the walls and ceiling, terrifying the investigators.
What was that? It sounded like grumbling. Like,
Yeah.
What the f?
The motion sensing camera picks up a clear humanoid figure standing nearby.
I don't know what that
Oh, there it is. There he is.
on the door.
Yep.
It appears to be attempting to close a door, but is unable to do so.
He's trying to. It looks like he's trying to close that door, or like move that door. Let's see if it maps anything.
Near the end of the investigation, the entity appears to become more powerful. It takes a lot of energy for ghosts to move objects, but it eventually moves a plank of wood during an EVP session in a completely empty room.
Whoa! Dude.
It also knocks over a bike that is leaning against a wall in the empty room.
Did you see that?
It seems the attentions of the investigators have made the spirit stronger or perhaps just bolder.
Did you see that?
A pub should be a place to relax and unwind after a long day. Unfortunately, for the patrons of Barney Mac's Bar in Drogheda, County Louth Island, their time at this bar isn't always peaceful. The bar was a regular haunt of a man named Joe Murphy for years. Not long ago, the regular unfortunately passed away. However, the staff at the bar believe he still occasionally comes to visit. In this footage, recorded by the bar's CCTV system, we see a pint of beer on a table in front of a guest. One of the patrons stands up, and while he's not looking, the pint glass explodes, sending beer and shards of glass all over the table. After the explosion, the patrons simply stare at the broken glass, flabbergasted. According to the staff, this isn't an unusual occurrence. Ever since the passing of Joe Murphy, exploding pints have been an occasional problem. Those who work there have gotten used to the strange emergences of their late customer, but it still terrifies customers who aren't used to Joe's shenanigans. A lot of people are working and attending school online these days, but meetings and classes don't usually yield scary videos. At least that's what Twitter user Freddy Giza thought. The teacher claimed to be alone in his recently purchased home in Nuevo Leon, Mexico, while teaching the class. Yet the students attending seemed to think that something else was present that day. The teacher is presenting against a blank wall with a doorway just behind his left shoulder. It's this doorway that becomes the center of attention when a pale face seems to peek into the room. The entity appears to be a pale young woman with dark hair. The teacher glances over his shoulder several times but is unable to see the creepy entity. At one point, he closes the door to end the distraction that the strange entity is causing. Towards the end of the video, he moves the camera around the house to show that he's alone except for his dog. Some of the students who watched the video think it was staged, but others are certain that it was a real ghost attending class that day. What do you think that strange face is? An accomplice, a real ghost, or something else entirely? Love to get your thoughts on this one in the comments section below. Abandoned hospitals and other places where the sick and dying meet their ends are popular locations for scary videos. In this exploration by YouTubers Finders Beepers History Seekers, they visit a former care home. According to the stories about the place, it would seem the elderly residents who lived at the facility had a difficult time during their residence there. The facility was reportedly shut down because of widespread accusations of abuse, neglect, and deplorable living conditions. Given the history of the building, it's unsurprising that numerous ghost hunters have found their way to this building.
So this place was eventually shut down for a catalogue of abuse. It was really terrible. Some of the people were classed as being put in cells. The bedrooms were that bad. They were locked away, ignored.
The investigators take their time moving through the building, examining the rundown state of the place, a perfect setting for a ghost hunt.
Like Chainsaw Massacre type horror film, yeah. You can imagine people being locked up down here.
At one point, they find a logbook containing complaints issued by visitors who were horrified by the conditions their relatives were living in.
Arrived, he didn't look suitable to enter the building on account of him having a wild expression in his eyes.
How can
psychopath coming in?
As they head to the second floor of the building, the investigators are surprised by an unexpected visitor, a shadow figure walking across the top of the stairs.
But yeah, you can see it goes up again. Hey, wait up. Hello?
It only appears for a second before disappearing into the shadows.
See it goes up again. Hey, wait up.
But then, when the men reach the floor where the shadow vanished, they discover that there's nothing but a wall. This indicates that nothing corporeal could have caused the mysterious shadow.
But they went that way, and there's no way you can go.
If you slow the footage down, you can indeed see a solid shape moving at the top of the stairs. Could a former resident be lingering in the place where they met their end? Or is it just a homeless person evading detection? Love to get your opinions on this one in the comments section below.
See, it goes up again. Hey, wait up. Hello?
TikToker Noah.vq captured this eerie video. As a security guard on an empty floor of a hospital, he wasn't expecting to see anything weird while on the job late at night. However, this eerie piece of footage seems to show a creepy shadow figure hanging out in one of the empty rooms. This security guard was working the night shift when he thought he heard some strange noises. The hospital where he works is fairly empty, and the floor that he was assigned to was totally deserted. If he was completely alone on the floor, it makes sense that he'd be a little uneasy, hearing unexplained sounds. He quickly takes out his camera to hopefully capture evidence of his mysterious visitor.
Some noise coming up right now. It's kind of freaking me out. So.
He walks down the hallway, slowly peering into each room that he passes. Unfortunately, one of the rooms doesn't look as empty as the others. As he passes the room in question, the camera captures a shadow that appears to be looking out a window. At first, the security guard continues down the hall. When his brain has had time to process what he saw, he slowly returns to the room for another peek. By the time he returns, the shadow is gone. Some people who have seen the video believe it was most likely a hoax with an all-too-human accomplice. However, several security guards have spoken up, insisting that guards rarely get company on their shifts. Others are certain that the footage captured a real shadow creature, a specific type of spirit that lurks in the shadows, tricking witnesses into questioning their own perceptions of reality. Some hypothesize that this is the spirit of someone who died in this very room. Regardless of who the spirit is, its appearance in the video is downright terrifying. YouTuber Aloha Treasures wasn't expecting to capture any ghost videos when she set up security cameras around her home. Unfortunately, a bizarre shadow has her questioning how safe her home really is, sending her to the internet for answers. The YouTuber has multiple CCTV cameras set up inside and outside her home. When watching the footage of her living room one day, she noticed something odd, a human-shaped shadow peeking in through the doorway. The shadow pops in a few times, standing out in stark contrast to the white door, before fading away. No trace of a person casting the shadow ever appears. On the first two appearances, the shadow is indistinct. It appears to be human in shape, but it's hard to make out a defined silhouette. On its final appearance, the shadow becomes more defined and seems to raise its arm to point at something toward the ceiling. After that, it fades away for good.
Better go. Don't you ever come back?
In the video, the homeowner doesn't seem sure whether she's looking at a ghost or the shadow of a real person. However, none of the other cameras provide any evidence of an intruder entering or exiting the home. If a person had broken into the house, it would have been difficult to evade all of the camera feeds. This has led the homeowner to believe that she is in fact dealing with a spiritual entity.
You better go. Don't you ever come back?
A convenience store in Tlaquepaque, Jalisco, Mexico, has become internet famous for startling ghost videos. A place to buy snacks and drinks during the day, this store seems to be a haven for ghostly entities after dark. In one clip uploaded to YouTube by Videos Famosos del Facebook, we see a number of strange movements caught on an employee's cell phone camera. As the camera pans across the store, the employee is startled when the door to one of the drink coolers suddenly opens on its own. The employee steps outside for a quick break but continues recording through the door. A few seconds later, the cooler door opens and closes again. The store is completely empty, so there's no doubt that the door is moving on its own. As the employees discuss the strange event, they notice that the lights in the store begin flickering off and on in an almost rhythmic pattern.
Mira, güey, las luces. Me pasan el video para que me crezca cabrón. Simón, ahorita te lo envío, güey, aguanta.
With no one in the store to control the lights, how could this be happening?
Mira, güey, las luces. Bueno, güey. Güey, no mames, está cabrón.
In another video by Low Paranormal MTY, an employee begins recording when the lights to the cigarette case begin flickering off and on.
¿Vaya haciendo una recarga?
A few seconds later, the overhead lights join in and begin turning themselves off and on.
Las luces. No mames.
As he films the lights, the cameras capture a cooler door opening and closing on its own.
No mames. Ven. Vean.
Near the end of the video, he also captures a bottle inexplicably rolling across the floor.
A la verga. Vean. Una botella.
Some viewers suggest that the videos are a prank perpetrated by hidden accomplices in the back rooms or crouched below the shelves. However, many are convinced that these videos depict real poltergeist activity. So what do you think? Is this convenience store really haunted? Love to hear your opinions in the comments section below.
Vean. Una botella.
According to Instagrammer Terra Prime, there could be some very scary things lurking in the dark. This footage, taken from a CCTV camera, shows a dim room that looks like a large kitchen or cafeteria. At first, everything in the room seems normal. However, that quickly changes when an abrupt flash of light appears near a closed door. The flash of light briefly illuminates what appears to be a human figure. The figure is only visible for a moment before the room is once again plunged into darkness. If you watch closely over the next few seconds, the figure seems to stand and move around behind the counter on the far side of the room. In the darkness, it appears as a white mist moving and writhing above the countertop. After a few seconds, the room is suddenly lit up by light once again, this time by the room's overhead lights. Once the lights are on, we can clearly see that the area near the counter is completely vacant. Whatever the strange white shadow was, it disappeared in the instant that it took for the light to come on. Moments later, a man walks into the room completely oblivious as to what's been happening mere seconds before. It's unclear what exactly caused the strange white shadow depicted in the video, and what was the bizarre flash of light. Whatever the case may be, the suddenness in which it appeared and disappeared seems to indicate that the entity was far from human. No list of scary ghost videos would be complete without at least one creepy ghost child. This disturbing footage uploaded to YouTube by YB Normal certainly fits the bill. The footage was shot at Leeds Castle in Kent, UK. The video's introduction states that the castle was the place of death of Princess Caroline, daughter of Henry VIII, who died at the age of 13 months from a head wound. Unfortunately, Henry VIII never had a daughter named Caroline. However, the castle was the residence of his first wife Catherine of Aragon and their daughter Mary. Catherine had many failed pregnancies, often suffering from the miscarriages, stillbirths, or sudden infantile deaths of her children. In addition, Henry was a known philanderer who fathered many illegitimate children. So it could be possible that a child named Caroline lived, however briefly, at Leeds Castle at some point in history. Regardless of the history, the video does seem to show an eerie, ghost-like child haunting the castle grounds. The footage seems to have been shot by a tourist visiting the area.
To see if we can spot any ghosts.
They enter the room said to be Caroline's and leave a camera rolling overnight to see if they capture anything unusual. Eventually, the camera captures movement. A ghost-like shape seems to rise up from the ground. The figure is white, almost indistinguishable from the wall. However, it stands clearly for several seconds before walking across the room and disappearing. Whether this spirit is the ghost of an unknown princess who died under mysterious circumstances, or merely the long-dead child of another resident, this tiny ghost seems to be trapped in this abandoned room of the castle. So what do you think's going on in this eerie piece of footage? Is it all just an elaborate hoax or something far more sinister? Let me know what you think in the comments section below. In this YouTube video, we see Laurie Simmons innocently chatting with her friend Shana Thomas. They're using an app called Marco Polo, which allows users to record their conversations as a video chat. The pair of women never expected to see something so bizarre show up on the video.
Like maybe a day bed or something. I mean,
Laurie moves around the house as she chats with Shana about her desire to buy a new bed.
I definitely need a smaller bed and one that's up off.
After a few minutes, she settles down into a chair to finish the conversation. It's at this point that Shana finally asks the question that viewers have been wondering about throughout the video.
Is there somebody in your house with you?
If you watch closely as Laurie moves around the room, in a few instances there seems to be a grey figure standing behind her.
I went and bought decaf coffee.
It appears in a few different spots, but usually seems to be standing still, with its hands on its hips.
I'll have this one because
it doesn't appear to have a face.
I went and bought decaf coffee.
If you slow the footage down, there is indeed a figure lurking behind her. Laurie quickly asserts that she's alone in the house and begins looking around for the mysterious figure. She's never able to find any trace of the visitor. After reviewing the video, she's convinced that either a ghost or an alien visited her that day.
I went and bought decaf coffee.
Posted to the 444 page on Facebook, this video was shared to us by the owner of the page herself, Shannon Courtright. Shannon explains that the video features her own sister, Robin Pagan, as well as her sister's friend, Katie. As the two were playing a drinking game and filming themselves, the group happened to capture what appears to be a rare supernatural event. Early in the video, Katie points out a cup moving in front of Robin.
Look at that whole cup just moved.
However, as the cup is out of Robin and the camera's view, she immediately dismisses it. After playing the game on camera for several minutes, the pair leave the view of the shot. Moments later, the cup seems to move all on its own. It repeats this motion several times throughout the video. At one point, the curtain slowly shifts by itself. The startling thing about this footage is that Katie moves and flips the cup numerous times while playing the game. The source footage is all one continuous shot. This would make it extremely difficult to hoax the event. There can't be string attached to the cup because it gets flipped several times. There also can't be magnets attached either. It's evident while watching the video that the people aren't aware of this paranormal activity occurring around them. It's not until the video was watched back that they spotted it. Shannon explains that the next day, the girls saw that a lamp and lampshade had fallen over and flown across the living room. Even more weirdly, a speaker kept turning on, despite the fact it wasn't plugged in. The final straw for the girls was when something seemed to gently lift Katie's hair into the air. Concerned due to the string of supernatural events, the two went back and watched this video from the previous night, now aware they had started capturing their very own scary ghost videos. The paranormal events of the following day, combined with the odd action seen in this video, were enough to convince the pair that they were host to at least one unexpected guest. With this myriad of odd activities all in a row, one has to wonder just how safe the two could feel while staying in that home. Uploaded by YouTube user Rodri Yoshiaki, this next clip seems to have been captured in a nearly empty hospital. The translated text from the video explains that Rodri thought himself to be alone when he saw the nearby doors open by themselves. Slightly worried but not overly shocked, the healthcare worker gave it some time before he decided to begin filming. The camera holder explains that the doors are automatic, but they require motion for them to be activated. In the video, you can clearly see the door open a number of times with no one around. Rodri then meets up with his work partner. The pair hear the sound of the doors once again opening by themselves. The pair decides to approach the doors, finding it curious that they've stopped opening by themselves upon their approach. They take a look around the room to see if anything might be activating the doors. There's clearly no one there. However, it's at this moment that the very clear sound of a whistle is heard. Again, the room is empty except for the two workers. If you slow the footage down, there is indeed a strange disembodied whistle. Now, clearly not as alone as they thought they were, the uploader has posted the clip to his YouTube channel for viewers to decide for themselves if he truly came into contact with some sort of spirit that day in the hospital. Posted to the YouTube channel Alice in Wonderland 74, this piece of eerie footage seems to show something truly mysterious. The video was captured by a truck driver's dash cam late at night while driving through Georgia. Although the clip is short, the description of the clip only serves to add more mystery to the already intriguing circumstances. The figure of a fully white woman is seen standing by the side of the road. Then, just as the truck comes nearer, the woman continues walking right into the road, seemingly colliding directly with the truck. The clip ends, but the video's description goes on to further muddy the mysterious circumstances. The truck driver, afraid he had hit someone, pulled over to the side of the road. Oddly enough, the driver didn't find evidence of a body anywhere nearby. Dismayed but still concerned, the driver called the police himself in order to clear up any potential misunderstandings regarding what had happened. Disturbingly enough, when the driver made contact with the police, they explained that his situation was not unique. In fact, the police officer explained that many such calls had come in, all regarding that very same spot. Many drivers seemingly reported concern over hitting the same ghostly woman, only to find they hadn't hit anything at all. What remains for the driver and the Georgia police, as well as viewers, is the ghostly mystery of the woman's origins. Just where did she come from, and why she reenacted being hit in the same spot on the road over and over again? This next clip was originally posted to the Home for Scary Ghost Videos, the Facebook page Do You Believe in the Unexplained? Host to a vast array of similar videos, this clip in particular is sure to give viewers the creeps. Recording an empty hallway, the majority of the clip plays out with no one in sight. The quiet emptiness of the hallway is exactly why it's so frightening when the smallest of shadows appears to creep around a corner, only to quickly creep away in the direction in which it initially arrived. The small shadow appears to be about the size of a small child, moving as a person would. It walks around the corner, then darts back in the opposite direction. The appearance of the small shadow is even more shocking due to just how quickly it appears and then leaves in the midst of the complete stillness of the hallway. With no human attached to the shadow, it appears it could be some kind of supernatural being. But without further evidence, we may never know the truth about this mysterious clip. So we'll throw it out to you, the audience. What do you think that strange shadow is? Let me know in the comment section below. Posted to Daily Motion, this next video comes from the pirate-themed bar Dreamwater Lounge. While there are many scary videos caught on CCTV, this one is fairly unique. The video was captured on what appears to be a bridge section of the themed restaurant. The area is seemingly empty, without a soul in sight. An alleged spirit seems to choose that moment to make itself visible. The ghostly figure appears to be relatively white and wispy. It floats right down through the empty area. It's almost as though it knows exactly where it's going, as it moves too purposefully. As the video continues, we watch the ghostly figure continue to move down the hall at a leisurely pace. Given the theme of the bar, it's highly possible that many spirits could have been drawn there. Perhaps it's a reminder of the spirit's home, past life, or an area it used to frequent. Some viewers have suggested the video is staged to drum up publicity for the restaurant. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of info to run with regarding this clip, so until more evidence comes to hand, this strange video will have to remain a mystery. YouTube user Youngboy Lloyd has provided us with this video as an update to a previous one we featured a few months back. In the latest in his string of scary ghost videos, his video explains the most recent haunting he's experienced. Lloyd explains in the video that his children saw a ghost in their home's washroom. He follows his son to the washroom to see what he's talking about.
Can you stay there again? Where?
Lloyd is soon trapped in what may be every parent's worst nightmare. Lloyd remains just outside the door as his son points to the spot where he witnessed the ghost.
Okay, show me.
The door suddenly springs shut on Lloyd, trapping his son in the bathroom while he's on the other side.
Holy! Nazir! Nazir!
Lloyd bangs on the door, shouting for his son to no avail.
Nazir!
The door appears to be kept shut by some sort of supernatural force, likely the same force that Lloyd's children witnessed in the washroom in the first place. Lloyd continues to attempt to open the door, banging on it and calling his son's name, even as the video ends.
Nazir! Nazir!
Just how long it took to finally open the door and get through to his son is unknown, but spending any amount of time living in such distress would be unbearable. Given the description of Lloyd's video, it seems quite clear that he no longer feels safe in his own home. This isn't the first time they've witnessed paranormal encounters in their home, as seen in videos that we've previously featured. Who the ghost is and why it's haunting Lloyd and his family is uncertain. However, what is certain is that Lloyd and his family may never feel at ease under that roof. Would you be house hunting and looking for a new place to live? Or would you brave it out and try and live with this supernatural entity? Let me know what you'd do in the comments section below.
Holy! Nazir! Nazir!
This scary image was posted to Reddit by user Trippy Aristocrat. A friend of the poster's partner originally uploaded the image to Facebook, to get some opinions on what the strange figure in the mirror could be. In the mirror is an eerie reflection of what looks like a young boy staring back at the camera. It's been reported that the photo was taken in an old cottage built sometime in the 1800s. The uploader rents the quaint old cottage out to guests from time to time. A guest took the photo when they were staying in the cottage alone. The photographer described the figure as a child in old-era clothing. The image has since made its way to Reddit, where a debate broke out as to what the photo actually shows. There are a couple of opinions, but the overwhelming consensus seems to be that the boy is a ghost. Initially, people were afraid it could be some type of demonic image in the mirror. However, upon closer inspection, it appears that the boy is more sad than angry or evil. Even though there isn't a lot of background information about it, people are postulating that it could be a forgotten soul who has somehow become stuck in the old cottage. Have you ever had something mysterious appear in a mirror when you were least expecting it? Let me know in the comments section below. Taken in black and white, there's something seriously creepy going on in this photo, submitted by Slaptam viewer TNGirl195761. Firstly, there are a few strange glowing orbs scattered throughout the picture. They appear to be translucent in nature, leaving one to speculate their real reason for being there. There's little information regarding the kind of camera that this photo was taken with, but by the angle of the light, it's obvious that the orbs aren't a reflection of the sun. Secondly, and perhaps more frightening, is the transparent apparition in the center of the photo. It looks to be an old woman wearing a plaid robe of sorts. Taken at a historical site in East Tennessee, viewers have speculated that she could be a former slave, back to visit the home she served. The uploader has stated they have no idea how to use Photoshop and that the image is 100% genuine. Reddit user Hi Sandwich Man presents us with a seriously spooky image of what appears to be a haunting, captured by one of their friends after moving into their new apartment. Inside an apartment complex in Charleston, South Carolina, a woman was taking a picture of her dog sitting in the chair in front of her. In the photo, we can see her second dog wandering off into the background. What's scary is the dog seems to be approaching the ghostly figure of a woman. We're able to see a slightly hunched figure lurking in the shadows. It almost appears as though it has glowing white eyes. The posture of the dog looks like it's testing the waters to see if the figure is friendly or something to be feared. The ghostly figure appears to be that of a woman. Some viewers have speculated it could be someone who has potentially passed away inside of the apartment complex. Apparently, the woman who took the photo was home alone with all of the windows and doors locked. Unfortunately, without further information, we may never learn the truth behind this mysterious photo. Japanese store owner Momo Hohu uploaded this amusing tongue-in-cheek photo to Twitter when they noticed that toilet paper was being stolen from their restrooms. Many nations and cities all around the world are attempting to secure supplies for their citizens during the COVID-19 crisis. These supplies include everything from food to toiletries to medical equipment to help combat the virus. The Japanese Ministry of Economy and Trade has assured citizens that there's going to be a steady supply of toilet paper for the foreseeable future, even if they need to import it from foreign countries. At the beginning of the 2020 pandemic, the Niigata Prefecture store began experiencing a spate of toilet paper thefts. To stop the would-be thieves, the owner decided to take matters into their own hands by invoking a curse upon all those who would steal the toilet paper. The owner wrote curses in kanji portraying the words for evil and hunger, along with 3 all-seeing eyes. Their goal was to cause others to believe that a curse would befall them if they were to nab the toilet paper. Apparently, the curse served its purpose, as the rate of toilet paper being stolen in the men's restroom has lowered significantly. Slaptam viewer David Trump 80 brings us a collage of some super scary images from his long-term residence. He claims to have lived in the same location for roughly 5 years with his family. They consistently hear noises from the upper levels of their house, and their light switches turn themselves on and off at random times throughout the night. To get to the bottom of the mysterious noises, they decided to install a security camera so they could see if an animal had potentially found its way into their home. Unfortunately, it doesn't appear as though there's an animal making the noises. Instead of a lost raccoon seeking a home, they managed to capture a really eerie figure on camera. In a series of photos captured by the security camera, a figure slowly makes itself known. In the first image, a small blur to the left of shot can be seen, not exactly anything to be alarmed about. However, in the second image, a figure is seen popping up rapidly in front of the camera. It looks to be wearing a nightgown or dress. Its face is a blurry mess with no discernible features. The third image is scarier still. It depicts an entity of some kind in a strange forward-leaning posture. It appears to be wearing some kind of white garment around the waist, and it seems as though it's missing a head. If you look closely, the entity can be seen in the mirror in the background. The homeowner is at a complete loss as to what these photos actually show. So what do you think that strange figure is? Love to get your opinions on this one in the comments section below. An estate sale is usually a bittersweet time. Even though it's a place to sometimes score some pretty killer deals, it's usually only because somebody's just passed away. This Reddit user, who has since deleted their account, brought awareness to a rather peculiar series of events with these scary images from a local estate sale. They shared that an elderly couple used to live across the street from them. The woman passed away several years ago, and the husband followed shortly after. This picture was taken during the estate sale, but in the background we see a creepy figure. It's a strange, grey-looking humanoid shape. It almost appears as though the figure's arms and legs are shackled together with chains and a collar. The Reddit user did admit that there used to be a slave plantation around the area. Some think that this could be a lost soul of a poor slave attempting to escape a cruel master in a bygone era. Unfortunately, it was sent to him over a text message, so they don't have the original photograph in their possession. Even though they attempted to increase the resolution, they're not able to get a clearer image of the ghostly figure. The uploader stated that they're normally skeptical when it comes to things like this, but they have admitted that they're not really sure what to make of this mysterious photo. These scary images come from an unknown source. They seem to depict an eerie figure lurking in a darkened bedroom. The anonymous poster claims to have purchased a new camera when this photo was taken. They left the camera next to their bed at night to charge and decided to go out for the evening with some friends. According to the uploader, the camera has a motion detection setting. While at the pub, the owner received a text saying the camera detected movement and took a series of photos. When they reviewed the photos, they were shocked at what they saw. In their bedroom, a shadowy figure can be seen lurking. Unfortunately, the quality is low, but you can make out a person or entity with dark hair. Upon attempting to clarify the image after getting home, the uploader increased the brightness in order to see what it was in their home. The photo appears to show a rather emaciated looking person with an unshaven face lurking in the darkness. The figure's arms look narrow and thin. It's hard to tell whether this is a ghost or an actual intruder. Viewers of the photo have mentioned that since the home was in Britain, it may have been constructed over an old tunnel that monks used to use in the Middle Ages in order to escape sieges. The tunnels have since become home to populations of homeless throughout Britain, and this man could have somehow found his way into the house. While the Middle Ages monk tunnel might be a bit of a stretch, the photo is nonetheless creepy. What do you think? Intruder or ghost? Let me know in the comments section below. Lots of parents use cameras to keep an eye on their children when they aren't around. The footage from these cameras don't usually yield that many scary videos. However, in the case of TikToker Crazy TikTok Sakti, a nanny cam captured something truly terrifying. The camera in question is placed just above an infant's crib. At the start of the video, we can see the baby sleeping fitfully in the darkened room. You might notice throughout the video that there's a dark shadow just outside the child's crib. At first, the blob-shaped shadow doesn't seem unusual. It could easily be a large toy or a pile of clothes resting on the nursery floor. In the dim light from the camera, it's impossible to tell what waits just outside the crib. That is, until something about the shadow changes. As the camera rolls, a pair of bright, reflective eyes suddenly blink open in the middle of the shadow. The eyes appear as small points of light watching the sleeping child through the bars of the crib. A vapor-like hand even comes through the bars of the crib on the right. The video ends before we can see what happens next. However, the child's tossing and turning could indicate some unsettling energy in the room. Those who have viewed the video believe the creature is most likely a shadow person. These creepy entities typically appear late at night. They can blend into the shadows in the corners of a room or in darkened doorways. Often, they only appear for a moment before disappearing, making the witness wonder if they really saw something lurking in the dark. Most shadow people cause no real harm other than terrifying those unlucky enough to spot them. In this case, the baby thankfully doesn't wake up in time to spot the terrifying creature. Going out into the dark of night to investigate scary sounds can result in some seriously freaky videos. This one has been shared to TikTok by World Paranormal. As this person discovers, you never know what could be lurking in the dark. The camera's spotlight illuminates an area filled with dense foliage. In the center of the screen, we see some sort of cement structure that seems to be the focus of the cameraman's attention. The grass and branches around the structure seem to be rustling, although there's no breeze. These sounds are what likely captured the cameraman's attention in the first place. However, it's unlikely that he expected to see what his camera records a moment later. As the cameraman investigates the sounds, a large creature suddenly stands up from behind the cement structure. The video's too dark and blurry to make out any features, but the creature is enormous. It appears to have a hunched back and stringy hair hanging over its oddly shaped face. The creature only lingers for a moment before suddenly running off camera at an unnatural speed. The creature in the video doesn't seem to match descriptions of any known cryptid. For now, no one seems to know what to make of this terrifying creature. Nothing makes for scary videos quite like a poltergeist, such as the one that's allegedly haunting TikToker Bunny Squid 95. Poltergeists are a specific type of spiritual entity with enough energy to interact with the physical world. Most poltergeists are content with just moving objects around or turning lights on and off. However, some poltergeists have been known to cause more serious damage, such as scratches, bruises, or even broken bones, that show up when they attack people sharing a space with them. In this video, the poltergeist in question appears to be more of an innocent variety, for now at least. The TikToker who shared the video regularly posts videos of their ghostly roommate moving random items around the house. In this video, numerous items on the kitchen counter move all on their own. A fast food bag, a knife block, a bottle of dish soap, and a bowl. They all inexplicably move even though there's no one around to touch them.
What happened?
Some viewers believe that a fan in the room most likely caused the items to move. However, the knife block and bowl in this video are clearly too heavy to be moved by a gust of air.
Record and see what.
The movements are also unlikely to be caused by someone pulling thin strings. The paper bag specifically moves in several different directions, which would be difficult to accomplish with a hidden string.
Sometimes it's directly below the kitchen, but yeah, a lot of weird stuff happens down there too.
According to the TikToker, the owner of the property is currently researching the home's history in hopes of finding some explanation for the bizarre occurrences. For now, the poltergeist activity remains a mystery.
What happened?
There's nothing creepier than dolls, especially ones that start moving on their own. And that's exactly what this TikToker, Holly Armstrong 20, has managed to capture on film. In the short video clip, we see the legs of a doll hanging over the edge of a shelf in the closet. The doll looks like a pretty normal toy at first. However, as the camera rolls, something terrifying happens.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
First one leg, then the other, begins swaying back and forth.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my.
It's almost like a child kicking their legs when their feet can't reach the ground.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my.
The video ends abruptly as the small movement was enough to send the TikToker running for the hills. Some who have watched the video believe that it's most likely a hoax set up by someone pulling strings attached to the doll's feet. However, because of the height of the shelf on which the doll sits and the way the doll's legs move, it would be very hard for someone to be pulling strings from a high enough angle without them getting caught on the top of the closet door. Others believe that the doll is genuinely possessed and recommend that the TikToker attempt to dispose of the doll immediately. Unfortunately, not all possessed objects are easy to get rid of. They often find their way back to their original owners in unexpected ways. Hopefully, this unfortunate TikToker is able to find a way to rid themselves of this eerie toy for good.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my.
Many scary videos, such as this one shared by YouTuber Lil Red the Fam, take place late at night. In this video, a paranormal investigator spends the night in a place said to be haunted, while live streaming the darkened room. Is there really a ghost lurking in this home? The video speaks for itself. The eerie clip begins with the investigator asleep in bed. Everything looks normal at first, until her hair begins to move in a way that can't be explained by the wind or a fan. A few minutes later, she lifts her arm to scratch her forehead. Then, her arm begins making some very odd motions, as if something was grabbing her elbow and jerking it around in the air. A while later, her hair begins moving around again. This time, the movements are accompanied by some terrifying sounds. The tape picks up strange tapping sounds and horrifying moans. It's possible that there's a voice speaking on the tape, but it isn't loud or clear enough to make out any specific words. However, some viewers claim to hear the words, "Get out." Shortly after, an electromagnetic frequency detector on a nearby shelf begins blinking bright red. While it isn't entirely clear what type of entity is showing up in these scary videos, one thing is for certain. The spirit definitely doesn't seem too keen on sharing this bedroom with anyone else. According to Slapcam viewer Matt West, something strange is going on in a home in Lumberton, Texas. A friend of his who recently bought the property in question was walking around taking a video. He wanted to show a before and after view of the renovations, but something unexpected showed up on the film. The homeowner starts with a shot of the outdoor pool before heading inside.
It's a big old house.
The light inside the house is dim, creating a lot of shadows where anything could be hiding. As he turns into what appears to be the living room, there seems to be something odd in the darkened doorway on the other side of the room. The camera moves away quickly, but a second later, the strange entity appears again just to the other side of the same doorway. It isn't until viewing the footage later that the homeowner noticed that something was amiss. When looking at the video more closely, the entity appears to be a person moving slowly out of the doorway. According to the legends about this house, years ago, a physically handicapped man died in this home when he fell into the outdoor swimming pool and drowned. The home's later residents claim to have spotted a ghost in a wheelchair numerous times while living on the property. If you slow the footage down when the camera swings back towards the doorway, it does indeed look like someone in a wheelchair blurs past the camera. If this video is any indication, it seems that the new owner can also expect visitations from the ghost of a previous resident. Now, if you want to see some more freaky clips, then check out that link on the top there. Otherwise,